And welcome to another episode of Lucky These Stories. Today we have an amazing guest whom I had a pleasure to know him for almost, I would say, 4 years or a little more. But that's not more important. What is more important is that this individual has given almost, I would say, give or take around 3 decades of his life to the community service. And in this episode, if you are if you're new to this country, if you are new to the Shelton town, and if you want to know more about how the community service works and how the political system in this country works at a ground level, this is your episode, and you should definitely make a point to share with others as well who also want to learn more about this. With that said, welcome to Lucky the Story, Anthony Simoniti. How are you?
Good. I'm very well, Lucky, and thank you for having me today. This is a thrill to do this.
I'm
Thank you.
glad you could make some time. I know this is a election year at the town, so it's definitely a busy time, but you still made a point to come, so truly, truly appreciate. So let's start with, for my audience who's going to tune in, can you tell a little bit about yourself, who you are, and your upbringing, where you grew up, and how you landed into the community service?
I'm from Shelton originally. I born there in 1954, actually in Derby. Everybody's born at Griffin Hospital, and my parents and family lived in Shelton. I grew up, went through the school system up to sixth grade. Then I went to what was St. Margaret Mary School. Then I went on to Notre Dame West Haven, and then I moved on to the University of Scranton. I got a business degree. I had no inclination of being in a political field at any time. My very good friend, a childhood friend who I played ball with and went to camp with and was Boy Scouts with, was Mayor Loretti. And I had left the city for about 8 years to move to Arizona to work. Came back. He was running for office. I said, "Can I help you?" He says, "Yeah, I need some support." And I gave some financial support. And a couple of years later, he said to me, "I need someone to be an alderman." And I said, "Well, what's that?" And he explained it to me. And from there on, I won my first election. I lost the second, and they crowned me with being the chairman of the Shelton Republican Town Committee.
Which year was this?
This was 94,
94.
95.
Okay.
My uncle, Frank Pagalera, was the chair for many, many years. So I took it over, and I had the best thing that helped me was Ken Nappy, who's unfortunately passed. He was my mentor, and he helped me through it. And now, after 20-something years of being on the committee, it's worked out very well. The mayor and the Republican administration he has been managing the city very, very well. And you have to understand, the city is what you look at is $140 million corporation business.
And this is what we're talking in Shelton, Connecticut.
Yeah, Shelton, Connecticut. Yep.
Okay.
It's a hometown of the wiffle ball. They make it there.
Yes. And now the Subway headquarters.
Well, yes,
And
it's
many-
Subway. Timex has returned. We also have Bigelow Tea is coming in another 2 years or so.
And Big Pen.
And Bic Pen moved in several years ago, maybe 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're retaining those companies that typically had left the state because of unfortunately, the financial situation in Hartford.
Yeah.
That the Democrats run.
Yes. When I look at Shelton, and I can speak it I moved in Shelton in 2012, and we started our journey. I had a 1-month-old child who's actually behind the camera right now listening to you. When we moved, and I'll tell you, I remember very clearly, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, "I'm moving to a Shelton." He said, "Who moves to Shelton?" I said, "What do you mean?" And we had a discussion, and I said, "Well, the taxes are low. This is the last town in Fairfield County, and I can see the progressions, the way the town has progressed, and there is a lot of opportunity and room." He didn't say, "No, that's not true. Nobody goes to Shelton. Look at the school system, this, that, this, that." He had all the reason why he didn't want me to move. I still took a chance, and that was the best decision I think I made, and I can't thank enough to the city of Shelton that has given us. And I think I can say that this is not just for me, but majority of the people, when they move in, they find the same values and same thought process. So my question is that you've been in this chairperson for Republican Party, but at the same time, you are also the Board of Aldermen.
I'm an alderman in the first ward.
First ward,
That's
right?
the area up near White Hills. And all the aldermen, there's 8 aldermen. There's 4 wards in the city. Downtown is the 2nd ward. The Long Hill area is the 3rd ward. And the 4th ward is up in Huntington. Each ward has 2 aldermen. And each ward has the aldermen themselves are the financial arm of the city. They make the decisions on what will be paid for the school system. They make the decision on the payment for fire trucks. For any expense in the city has to go through the Board of Aldermen.
So basically, they are the governance body from the financial side. It's the mayor has a final sign. Is that how it
The
works?
mayor can bring to us anything he wants as far as what he'd like to buy or do.
Okay.
Build a building, make a road, pave a road, whatever. But the burden of deciding how the money will be spent, where it will be spent, is the Board of Aldermen. It also is the organization that we also make the decision on ordinances and things like that. We have open meetings for finance, for road services, for buildings. So we also help decide who will sit on commissions and boards so that we can manage the city. And those people are typically volunteers. There's about 250 people that are volunteers that do not get paid. Aldermen do not get paid either. They don't get any kind of a stipend. It's all done because we like the community. And I believe you want to ask me why I do this, because it takes a lot of time out of my private life and my family and all. It's because when I was growing up in Shelton, the men and women who were my mentors, my teachers, my scoutmasters, the people that were my coaches in baseball, football, basketball, they were volunteers. And I wanted to give back to my community. I was, I'll say, lucky enough to get the opportunity to serve even more than they did, and I appreciate it. I do appreciate it.
So, thank you. That's a good insightful to this. But let me ask you this. So you are also the Board of Aldermen. You are also the chairperson for Republican Party. So you have a lot on your plate, right?
Yes.
How, and you also have your personal life.
Yes.
So how do you manage, and this is a question I'm asking because I always wanted to ask this when I'm sitting in the party, because I'm also a member of Republican Party and I'm also the vice chair for the Fair Renting Commission, right?
Correct.
I always has this, it's not an easy task. The most important thing which I find very fascinating is that you've been as a chairperson for almost 24 years now,
Yes.
right? And for almost 3 decades, if I'm not mistaken, the Shelton city has almost a governance body from a Republican Party.
Mayor Loretti was elected in 1991, so this will be, he's 34 years that he's been the manager or the mayor of the city, and he manages the city.
Right.
You're managing, like, as I said before, $140 million business is what it comes down to.
Correct. No, but having, there has to, so if I have to ask you, what is that recipe that is working in the favor that you, the citizen of Shelton agrees to it and they'll elect Republican Party, not just the mayor, but across all the line within the thing. It's not a small thing. It's not an easy thing. It's a lot of pressure. Every 2 years you have an election. Every 2 years you have to prove them that what we did last 2 years is working, right?
Right.
What is that recipe? And if there is a recipe, because I remember I was listening to Mayor day before yesterday, on Wednesday, in the party, he said it's a consistency, delivering what people want us to deliver. But that's such an easy recipe, and not every town can adapt to it. So what do you think that the Republican Party here within the Shelton is doing that is making it more proven than any other town?
Let's start with the mayor. Okay.
Okay.
He took he said he wanted to be mayor because before he became mayor, the city was being run for a good 10 years or so by Democrats. They had put the city in debt of almost $30 million. That many years ago, it's like $100 million today. That was upsetting, number one. We had a horrible tragedy where we lost the B.F. Goodrich factory downtown. It put a lot of businesses out of
B.F.
town.
Goodrich was here?
It was right in the,
Oh, I didn't
where
know
we
that.
call the War Memorial, Shelton War Memorial. That
Oh,
was
that's the
Bridgeport. Yep,
part where
yep, that's the
it got
part.
burned down.
The building was destroyed by a fire that was set by the owners. They
Yes,
wanted to
that
get the
was in a
insurance
big
money.
news.
Right. It's still the largest fire set for that reason on the books of the FBI, $17.5 million.
Wow.
So when I came back, I was in Arizona from 19, it was 78 till 88. When I returned back to Shelton, there were about 50 storefronts downtown that were empty. Plus, there was almost nothing going on. The mayor had a restaurant. He saw that the taxes were going up and the services were going down. So he made it his business, and he found some people to help him. Many of those people, unfortunately, have passed since then or are not able to assist him. And he took it upon himself to set the city right. One of the reasons he does it, the way he does it, is because he runs it like a business as much as he can. There's some things you can't shut down. You're the CEO of a $140 million business, but he knows at the end of the day, his decisions have to be right for the people that live in Shelton. And what I mean by that is that he has to know that whether we build a school or we finance road services or we hire certain people, that they're the right fit for the city. And actually, what he's been doing for 34 years, that's what Donald Trump started in 2016. And now he's carrying it on. And I think by doing this, you keep a lean group of people that work with you, understand what you're doing, and follow the recipe of a good, clean, well-run, balanced organization. And that's exactly what we have.
Yeah, that's good. So I'm going to ask you the question pertaining to that. Assuming that I came to this country, I moved to Shelton, and I want to know what does the Board of Aldermen, which you explained is about the finances, but at the same time, the chairperson of the Republican Party, right? It's a day-to-day life. What does that day-to-day life looks like? Is that continuously that individual is engaged throughout the 2 years, or he gets more engaged when it comes to the election, close to the election? Like for an example, this year is election year for the town, right? So obviously you are more engaged. But is that the only time, or is there a time when you are also engaged while there is no election?
We're always engaged, even when there's no election, because part of the job of the town committee, whether it's the Democratic town committee or Republican town committee, is to provide the people that are necessary to help manage the city. I don't know if I said it before, but I'll say it again. We have over 250 people that are volunteers, like yourself. You sit on boards and commissions, and then you make decisions for the city, for the people, the citizens of the city, as we do as aldermen, and that's what keeps the city going forward. When there is an election, I am much more busy, obviously, because we have to make sure we're campaigning and we're doing everything according to the state regulations and the Secretary of State's office. There's a lot of paperwork involved. And the other thing is we have to have specific meetings for specific things to find the people that will then be the next people to move up be candidates for those positions that are electable. So we have the Board of Aldermen, the Board of A&T, the Board of Education, Board Library Board. We have the P&Z. We have the Register of Voters. All these positions are very important to how the city runs. Is one more important than the other? At certain times they are. I mean, the decisions of the Board of, the P&Z Commission, Planning and Zoning, are very important because those decisions will then say the piece of land that someone's acquired, they're going to put a property on it, so the taxes will go up on it. P&Z also decides if we have too many of one business versus another business, or if it's not a fit for the neighborhood where it's supposed to go, and especially when it comes to housing situations. And that's a difficult situation right now because we do have some housing regulations that come down from the state of Connecticut that are trying to tell our planning and zoning people how they have to manage the city. And it should be done by the local people that live in the city, and that's what we want our P&Z people to do. They're strained because of the rules and regulations from the state, and we're trying to work with the state of Connecticut, the legislature, to find a happy medium in that area. But the city of Shelton is managed by the mayor with the assistance of persons that we recommend to him for the positions. He sees a lot of people every day that he has to work with closely. Obviously, the finance director, the assessor's office that decides what a property is worth and then how it's going to be taxed. The Board of A&T, which sets the mill rate. The budget people, we make the final decision on the budget. He also oversees.
When you say we, means the Board of Aldermen.
The Board of Aldermen make the final decision on the budget. In other words, where the monies will go. Of the $140 million, how much will go to education? How much will go to police department? How much will go to the fire department? Will we buy fire trucks that year? Will we buy more police cars? Will we provide new guns for our policemen? By the way, Shelton is a very safe city. We were number 9 in the state. We're now number 5 in the state as the safest city, and that's from the statistics of the FBI. That's where that comes from. So we're very proud of that. We're very proud of our police officers. And again, we have an all-volunteer fire department, and they're always looking for recruits, and they do a fantastic job. We have 4 firehouses, all volunteer. Everybody who's there from the chief on down is volunteer, and they do an excellent job, along with our Echo ambulance, which is our rescue, our medical rescue. And all our firemen are trained, and the Echo staff or the EMTs that come out and assist you with sometimes the worst time in your life.
You know, when you are actually you're holding a pen for the finance, right? At the end of the day.
Right.
Obviously, there has to be a lot of pushback. Like, let's say I'm a citizen from the White Hill from Ward 1. I pick up phone and I say, Anthony, I don't like what you're trying to do, or I remember that was 2 years ago, the charter that they were supposed to revise, and there was such a outcry, right? A lot of people were doing. How do you navigate those? Because it's not an easy thing, because you get a call from right and left, right?
We do get people get to us and tell us what they like and don't like, and I like that. I want to hear from the public. We changed our schedule from a 7:00 meeting to 5:30 during COVID, and we don't get as many people that show up. But we are broadcasting it so people can get online. They can actually from home speak to us, be part of the program. We have a public portion for every meeting except special meetings.
And this happens once a week.
No, the aldermen are on the second Thursday of the month is a regular meeting. We also have special meetings when we need them, but we also have different committees that meet.
Okay.
So the street committee, the health and safety committee, the finance committee, which I'm the chair of, meet, and then we report back to the regular meeting, or we make recommendations.
Okay.
We also have meetings, open public hearings for ordinances and any changes that we make to city documents and government. We just made some changes for the Shelton Economic Development Corporation documents. So we've just had a public hearing, and now it's open for people to come in and tell us that they don't like it, do like it, and then in a couple of weeks we will have a hearing. We'll have another meeting, and we'll take what we have and we'll either modify it or we'll say that's going to be the final.
So if I'm looking at it from the logistic perspective, let's say there is a meeting on a board of aldermen.
Yes.
I, as a citizen of Shelton, can walk in and listen into that board of aldermen meeting.
You can always listen in, but you can also come to the meeting. You can stand up when we have the public portion. You can speak for 5 minutes, and if you have more to say, at the end of the meeting, we'll give you all the time you want. We'll sit and listen to you, okay?
Okay.
And we take what is said to us. I always write down the name of the person, where they live, and what their subject that they want to talk to us about. Some things we can take care of pretty easily. Sometimes we don't normally answer. Sometimes the mayor will say, if you'll see me after the meeting, or he'll say, call my office, and I'll make sure that what you've asked for, you'll get the information you want. So we're always being cooperative. We want to be cooperative with the public because they are the people that we're serving.
Yes, I agree.
We are not there to self-serve. We're there to serve the public.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what the party you're from, whether Democratic or Republican or independent or unaffiliated. It doesn't matter if you're just a businessman in Shelton or you live in Shelton. If you have business in Shelton, we want to hear from you too. Obviously, that's important to us.
Yeah, and that's very important because I think I can vouch for myself. I remember 4 years ago, I wanted to get involved, and the party was very much open, and they helped me. They helped me sit into certain meetings to see how I feel. You know, I consider John Anglis as my godfather for political party. He helped me navigate through.
John English is a marvelous man. He has a memory like a steel trap, and he's an elder statesman, and he is a statesman. I will tell you, when there's a discussion and it gets a little out of hand, Alderman Anglis, who's the president of the Board of Aldermen, is very good about not only calming everyone, but finding common ground.
Common ground, yes.
Which does help a lot.
Yes, and he was on our show too.
I understand.
Yeah,
that.
and also one of an individual I remember, she mentioned to me that if he was young and he had the aspiration, he's a candidate more for president. He does have that capability and the way to bring people together.
John Ellis's business was he worked for one of the larger pharmaceutical companies, and he did work in the personnel department, human resources. So he was involved in when people had disagreements. He knew how to handle them. He did contracts with them, I believe. And he also worked giving out people their retirement packages, which everybody's happy when they get their retirement.
Of course, yeah, he's an inspiration. 90 plus, he keeps going. I
does.
saw his name. He's running again. What, 93 now?
I don't want to say his age, but he's
90.
He's past 90, but you'd never know it.
Yeah, but
Because when he
he's
speaks,
unbelievable.
people listen.
Listen, yes, even mayor listens.
Yes, the mayor does take his counsel very seriously.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I want to.
And they don't always agree.
They don't, which is okay. That
absolutely all
that
right.
speaks about the true democracy.
Yeah.
I want to go back. The demographic is changing. The Shelton is changing. Every day, new set of demographic is coming in, and in that process, you have a history, or a Republican Party has a history to long serving up to almost 3 decades with the consistency and the results.
More than 3 decades.
More than 3 decades,
Yes.
right? Do you find it challenging at times to keep up to that? Because every time when you're every 2 years when you're into election, your audience is changing. You're trying to cater to that needs and a want. How if there is how do you navigate to make sure that to give that message and make sure that you are actually trying to prove to them that what we are doing is based on our results? You can see our results. We don't have to speak.
Well, let me go back to the 2 years that we run for office. We've asked Mayor Loretti to make it 4 years, so we don't have to run every 2 years.
So is it not a state law?
No, it's not a state law. Every city can do whatever they want.
Oh.
And the mayor is very adamant. He says, no, we don't want 4 years. Because if we have somebody in office for 4 years and they're screwing up, as he will say, that's a long time to make a lot of mistakes and hurt us. So he says every 2 years, if someone's not doing the right thing at the election, you can make a decision that they are going to run, won't be a candidate. Either party can do it. It's not just our party, any party. But the point is that you don't want people hanging around too long when they can hurt the city financially or in any other way. When I know that the challenge now is that we have a lot of people moving in to apartments. They're younger. They're new to the city. They came from areas where they're big Democratic parties, and they're used to the Democratic way of doing business. Shelton, Mayor Loretti's Republican administration, these are the people that are around him every day. The people that work in the city hall, people that are back him up from the Board of Aldermen. Now, not everybody in City Hall is a Republican. Some are Democrats, some are unaffiliated. That's not you don't have to be a Republican to be in the City Hall and working for the city, or working on the highways and bridges, or working in the school system, or working as a bus driver, or as a police officer. That's not a criteria. What it is that we want to run the city, as I said when we first opened, it's a $140 million business, corporation, whatever word you want to put on it, business or let's say business. And so at the end of the day, we have to be right in the decisions we make. And I want people to know that the decisions are not made lightly. When we have we have an effort at all times to bring all the information to each board, and they can go through the information and see what's there and know what works and what doesn't work. Now, 34 years of doing it, you get good at it because you found the right people doing the right thing. But when we have to change vendors, when we have to buy large pieces of equipment, when there are big decisions to be made from P&Z, things like that, we rely on the people that we've vetted, we've talked to them before they become aldermen, before they become planning and zoning commissioners, before they get on the Board of Education. We talk with them about our core values. And our core value is to do the right thing for the citizen, to be careful with the other people's money, because all the tax money is other people's money. Not mine, not anyone on the Board of Aldermen. We don't look at it that way. We look at it as if we're spending the money from someone else's bank account, and we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. So we have a lot of different steps to go forward. So we can't purchase anything over $7,500 unless we have a bid. We got to throw it out for a bid.
In any department,
or any department. And
okay.
the only way we can go around that is if you have a John Deere tractor, you can only buy the parts from John Deere.
Yes.
Fine. But if we're buying a new tractor, we go out and say, okay, who's got the tractor? Is it Caterpillar, John Deere? Is it Case? Whatever. So we get the one we know we can get. We also, the mayor is very careful with buying equipment. He also rehabs equipment. So we have trucks down at the city yard, our plow trucks, our dump trucks, our bucket loaders, where he's bought them used from the state of Connecticut, from other areas. So we're getting them at very discounted prices, and they're coming to us with low mileage and is what we need. Instead of paying $500,000 for a truck, and they do get expensive, this is a dump truck that we're going to put a plow on, we may be able to get it for $200,000.
So
in fact, I should give you an example. We own the buses in the city of Shelton. One of the cities in Hartford had the same buses, the propane buses. They're changing over to diesel buses. Their buses are only 5 years old, so they offered to us at a very discount. Instead of $140,000, we got them at almost $80,000, I believe. Don't quote me on that. So we got a discount on those buses to help build up the stock of buses we have, and to be able to go forward.
So what I'm hearing is it's like mayor is actually thinking it's the money coming out of his pocket, and he's making sure that every penny that is coming out is being valued, which is a good thing, right?
It's exactly the thing.
Yeah. Another thing that what I find it very, and I'm going to speak to so I will tell you, so we have a group of people that I know, and this subject comes more often, that, the Shelton is a great city now. It's progressing. For last 15, 20 years, we have seen such a great progression. In fact, one of the reason that I always vouch on is like, this is very unlikely in any other town where the recycle and garbage is free. People don't realize that.
That's true.
It is a cost.
Yeah, and we years about, I'm going to say it's almost 20 years ago, we decided to go from the garbage cans that everybody had of their own to buy the garbage pails that are now there for the brown and the blue.
Yep.
And it cost us almost $750,000.
Yep.
Plus the trucks, there were 4 trucks. The trucks are $500,000 a piece. But if you notice, the streets are much cleaner. Garbage isn't all over the streets
Yep.
because somebody tipped over a barrel or an animal or a car hit it. Okay. And the trash, we also do recycling. We do get money for recycling. And please remember, if you're recycling, no plastic bags in the recycled barrels. Just recycle the glass, the bottles, the plastics, the foam. Everything else will go into the brown barrel. The blue barrels, no plastic bags. They go to recycle. And we do get some funds from that recycling.
Recycle. And there is also a facility, the recycle.
We have a recycle facility in the city. It's a private facility, so they do help us out that way.
Oh,
And
okay.
we used to have trash that was picked up by a local gentleman, and I don't want to say, but there's some beautiful homes that are now sitting on what was one of Shelton's largest garbage depositories. It was a private depository, but there's some beautiful homes on it right now,
Wow.
up in the White Hills area.
White Hills is beautiful.
Yeah,
It is, where I was going with that question was that that a lot of people, when they look at Shelton, they say that, okay, Shelton is one of the way that people get attracted to Shelton is the low taxes. So
Right.
think it of this way. Right now, let's say I'm living in a Wilton, I'm living in a Weston, Westport, those areas, or Easton. I have my kids going to Staples and other schools, and now I have no liability. My kids are outgrown, so they immediately move to Shelton because the taxes are low. They don't want to pay more taxes. Now, which is a good thing. You're attracting the people who are older community people, but then how do you justify that there is a young crowd who is in their 40s and have a kid who's actually into the school, and you're saying that, okay, we also have a good school system? Because in my view, school systems are great. It's not that bad.
Glad to hear you.
Yeah, no, I genuinely, because I raised my kids here. They went to
Yeah.
the Booth Hill. Booth Hill is amazing. Shelton's, they're good. But then there is also a thought process or maybe a misconception that when somebody looks at from who's in 40s or 30s and they're living in an Easton and Western and Westport, they're looking it from that binocular. How would you tell them that, okay, we don't compromise because our taxes are low doesn't mean our school system is bad?
Well, let's look at that. The mayor will tell you that he's had people come up to him and say, "You don't spend enough on the school system." Well, he says, if you don't feel that way, he's very, very, very blunt about it. Why don't you move to the school system that spends the most money, which is up in Hartford, and yet the results are not good? I would say, I believe it's 87% of the students in Shelton go on to school, and a group of them go on to college and upper education. And there's also a group that go into the military academies, which is excellent. But our school system is a good school system. We have good teachers. It's a larger system. It's 4,300 and almost 4,400 students. It's smaller than it was 10 years ago. We had almost 5,500 then. But it's a system that works very, very well. We've saved them a lot of money by having our own bus service, where we've saved them about $1 million to $1.5 million in services by having someone else do the services. We have more control over it too, so when they need an extra bus here or there, we can do it right away. Our bus service people are excellent. We have had a difficult time starting this year with people passing buses illegally, and we hopefully they will stop doing that.
What does passing illegally mean?
Well, when a bus has its flashing lights on and its stop signs extended, you're not supposed to pass the bus.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately, they were doing it for last year 200 or 300 times a week.
But there was a law passed that there is a big ticket, right?
Well, that law has been around for years. It's $450.
Yes.
But now they've allowed the communities to put cameras on the buses, which we did. And if you catch someone doing it, it's a $250 fine. The city gets 40%. The company that put in the cameras gets 60%. And they get but it doesn't put points on their license as it would if you got caught by a state policeman or a Shelton police officer. But to me, it's not the fine. It's that we never have any
Absolutely.
child injured or a parent who's accompanying them across the little ones across the street to get on the bus, or a grandmother or an aide or anyone who's helping the student, that they never have that problem. And unfortunately, people have to realize that a double line does not mean you can pass. It has to be a complete barrier, divide. So when the bus stops, whether you're facing the bus or you're behind the bus, you cannot pass the bus when the red flashing lights are on and the stop signs are extended and flashing also. But we'll go back to the school system. Not only do we put out 65 to 75% of our budget for the year goes to the school system, but the city of Shelton also backs them up with another $1.5 million in assistance and even more. We buy the Chromebooks for them outside of their budget. We do all their lawn service and take care of all their facilities for them. We just put a roof on Mohegan School that was supposed to be about $2.4 million. We did it for $1.7 million, and on time, even quicker than we thought we could get it done. We take care of, we're between Shelton High School and the Shelton Intermediate School. There's a field, a lower field, that's a football soccer field. That's going to be redone, and it's going to be all done in turf. So now it's a multi-purpose field. So lacrosse, soccer, football. You can practice baseball on it. The band can practice on it. So it'll be a field hockey can be played on it. It's going to be a great field. We're going to get that done. Hopefully, we're going to light it up too. The tennis courts, we put a concrete trim around the tennis courts so that eventually we can cover the tennis courts. Not so much that the public can play tennis there, which they can, but in the winter, it's another venue for the students at the high school to go to do gym classes, phys ed, things like that. So it's another venue that we're trying to work on. These are all things that the mayor works with many people across the city to do this. We received $1 million in recreation grant. We're going to put in more services behind the Shelton Community Center. I believe they're looking at a water feature. It'll probably be only used during the summer, but it'll be there. And we also are looking at more pickleball courts back there and to upgrade the facility itself.
So where can, if I'm moving to Shelton, where can I find this information?
The City Hall has this information
On the
its website and
Okay.
also on the Shelton Republican Town website also,
Okay.
which is Shelton RTC.
And there is a Facebook page.
There's a
and
Facebook page
Instagram?
also, yes. And we have an Instagram also where they can see, talk to that. You can also call the alderman. You can email them if you like. And I do get calls and emails from people about specific problems. And normally with a few phone calls and a review of the situation, we can take care of it. Some things we can't. I'll give you an example. We have a budget in case a mailbox is knocked down during the winter.
Okay.
But the mailbox has to be hit by the plow. The snow, if the snow hits it, knocks it down, that doesn't count.
So that's in the charter.
It's not in the charter, it's in our ordinances.
Ordinances.
So the ordinances, the charter is one thing, the ordinances are another. Okay. The other thing is that the city has budgets for certain things like purchasing. We used to purchase all kinds of magazines, or not magazines, pardon me, handbooks and books for our people. But now, because of the internet, we don't have to. But we do have to buy some licenses to run our services through the city.
Sure.
In fact, one of the nicest things that's happened is if you're a contractor or just a homeowner and you want to access the planning and zoning to get a certificate to put a shed in, an addition to your house, you can do it all online so that it's a lot easier for you. You don't have to go down to the city hall, get the documents, fill them out, go back to the city hall. You can fill them out online.
I can witness that because we did our sunroom. Everything was seamless online. Everything, we didn't have to do anything.
I'm so glad it worked for you.
That was amazing. Because most of the town, when
Right.
they talk about the government, like a local town, websites are crap.
We have a gentleman named Dan who works in the city hall. He runs all of our electronics,
Yeah.
does an excellent job.
Yeah, that was seamless. It was
Yeah.
so great. Look, I would love to talk more about this,
Okay.
but the time is a constraint, and I know that this is also a busy time of the year for you because the election season is coming, And I wish you all the very best. I cannot tell you that I am so proud to be a member of the Republican Party. I'm so proud that I am serving in any way I can under the leadership of you, Mayor, and all the Republican. I have learned so much that I cannot tell you. Um, I want to give you the opportunity. Is there a message that you would like to give to the people who are new to this town or who are already in the town and who have already been seeing the progress and succession of your leadership? What is that one message you would like to
The
give?
message I'd like to say is that please look at what's been done in the city of Shelton. Take the time to make a phone call to someone, look on the city website, see the activities and all the progress we have. Senior citizens, we have an excellent senior citizens facility. They do a lot for them. We have a lot of activities. We have 2,400 acres that are set aside and paid for that are a part of our recreation program, and you can walk the trail. We have a great conservation group, and there's lakes and ponds you can get your kayak or your canoe into and go fishing if you like. And so we've got a city that really works well. So I want, and the other thing is, I want everybody to come to vote. If you're 18 years or older, and you can register to vote and come out and vote. Of course, as a Republican, I'd like you to vote line B across the way. Thank you.
Love it. Love it. Thank you very much. I truly
My
appreciate your
pleasure.
time. Thank you
My
so much.
pleasure.